everyone, this is MD Anderson, recording again from the Motorhome Studios. The last several weeks have all been about the Dragonize Your Dragonize books, about goal setting and self-esteem, which would be taught by Sliverballs to Guy, Phoenicia, and Big D in the Dragon Bell series. If you get a chance, I hope you would go through the previous vlogs, watch those, learn about the goal process yourself. Hopefully it can help you in your life and your goals as well. Or just go ahead and buy it from dragonbells.com, available on amazon.com or through Kindle as well. However, it's time to get on to the next book. Even though I do have Dragons Amongst Your Men already published, also available on amazon.com or through Kindle, as well available from the dragonbells.com website. But I want to talk to you about a book that is basically the cornerstone of the entire Dragon Bell series. This is called the Shaman Organization Bible. And just like the real Bible, it is basically a chronological history of the creation of three different entities. The first entity is the creation of the gods, or the existence of the gods. Not really the creation. We don't know how the gods were created, and I'm not really going to get into that. Not the big deal of the Dragon Bell series. But basically a history of the Dragon Bell series, starting with Aether and Hemera. I'm using more the Greek mythology, even though there's the Roman, the Anime Elish, which I also have incorporated, and a whole bunch of other type of mythologies. I do like the Norse mythology as well, which will also be incorporated. So if you like any of these kind of mythologies, you will see bits and pieces of it within the Dragon Bell series. The second entity is the creation of dragons. How did they come about? Why did they come about? And of course, the creation of man, which the real King James Version Bible, almost every version of the Bible that I'm aware of, almost every Indian history, American Native history, it talks about the creation of man. Every single one of them has its specific little points, different details, but a lot of them are so identical. It makes it so much fun to intermingle these, weave them together like different threads of knitting to make an entire new sheet of cloth. And that's what the Dragon Bell series, it's a combination of everything. I have so much fun studying all of these different histories, cultures, religions, or the lack of differences of them. So the Dragon Bell series, you will find something to identify with it at one point or another. Since the Shaman Organization Bible does include the creation of the dragons, well, it also goes over the history of how the earth was created and why, through mostly, like I said, the Greek mythology with Kronos and Uranus and down to Zeus. Zeus is the current reigning god of our society. They were the ones who created humans, people here on Earth, more for their pleasure. Dragons Amongst Men kind of touches a little bit on that. But there is a reason for why there were dragons here. We have dinosaurs, prehistoric creatures that no longer exist. Why did they exist? Why did they disappear? Well, the Shaman Organization Bible actually talks about this. As well as when you research and study every other country, every culture, every history, you find stories about serpents, flying reptiles, mostly dragons. I found that very interesting, and for some reason, up to the 14th to 15th century, dragons existed. You read about King Arthur and the slaying of dragons. You read a lot about the Chinese culture history, all about good dragons, or the metallic dragons, or the Quetzalcoatl feathered serpent, which was a dragon down in the Mesoamerica for the Aztecs and the Incans. Here in Arizona, there is a dragon history, especially in the Superstition Mountains, about lizard men or some kind of other things. But in the Shaman Organization, the person who actually created the current reigning organization was Leonardo da Vinci. Ironically, I just went through history and said, when did dragons quit existing in histories? And it was around that time. So, ironically, I just picked Leonardo da Vinci. As I began to study and learn more about Leonardo da Vinci, I have been totally amazed at what this man did. definitely way ahead of his time. Leonardo da Vinci created so many things, like the parachute. Why would he need a parachute? Was he jumping off bridges? Well, ironically, he did develop bridges as well. So he may have been. But he didn't get to build most of the bridges that he had designed. He designed robots. He designed armor. He designed tanks. He designed the guns or machine guns. Why did he design all of these things? What was his purpose? What was his motive? Even after I had written a lot of the history for the Shaman organization, I came across a story, a journal of his, and he indicates that at a certain time in his history, he was out painting. He gave the years. I'd have to look them up. I don't remember years immediately. That's why we write them down. Another Shaman organization leader was Albert Einstein. You'll get to know more about that when I actually publish the Shaman Organization Bible. And he says, why remember things when you can write them down? So if I don't get my dates accurately, it's because I've written them down. I don't have any purpose to really remember the dates, but I will try to reference the best I can out of memory. When I'm recording these, I'm not researching, I'm just recording. So if my dates are wrong, I apologize in advance. But around the late 1400s, Leonardo da Vinci came across a cave where he was out painting, and he had this eerie feeling about a mysterious creature, reptilious creature behind him. I'd already written this for the book. He says he became curious about this creature in a cave, and then he went on I call it a 2-year sabbatical, where his history is unrecorded. 2 years of his life. Maybe he was a missionary of some sort, but there were 2 years of undocumented time in his life. And so I have used that era. That is the time that he learned. He had already started doing business at a very young age as a blacksmith, as a leathersmith, and as a scientist, more or less. He came across a dragon named Nilakanta. Nilakanta was a dragon in need, and Leonardo da Vinci helped him. Because of his graciousness towards Nilakanta, Nilakanta taught him many things, and it comes to turn out that Nilakanta was also the prince dragon. He had been banished from the terrestrial realm, and that's where the dragons, a lot of serpents and reptiles live, which of course there's more to why they are there than just me saying it. That also goes back into the history of the gods and the creation of the dragons, but right now I'm focused on Leonardo da Vinci. So this week, Leonardo da Vinci, it's more of a teaser. There are so many different things I can include for Leonardo da Vinci. This is where we get to learn a lot about the history. The Shaman organization takes so much into the real histories of what's gone on with our real world. This is what makes the Dragonvale series so exciting. As well, on to other things that I'm working on, so you can keep up to date. I mentioned last week that I am going to be doing an all-star cheer and tumbling squad at my local recreation center. This past week, I have realized that I need music. I'm not much of a composer or anything like that. I do love music. I enjoy singing. I enjoy my guitar. But cheer does not go to guitar songs. Then I decided, well, I would just be able to get on the internet, find some cheer type of songs. But then I found out that most of the cheer songs out there are actually illegally produced. I don't want to be getting into other people's infringements on their rights and stuff like that. So I have decided I will attempt to make my own. So being a Linux Ubuntu person, I found some adequate software. I found the LMMS, Linux Music Something software. And I have been learning that as well. So hopefully I'll be able to experience, and come up with some really cool beats and sounds. This performing squad that I am going to be creating will be a big part of Dragon theme. So the choreography will be Dragon-based, amongst the Dragonvale series, stories, trying to play that out, try to synergize and collaborate all these different things that I want to do together. So I hope that all of this information this week is a great teaser for the next several weeks to come. I'm going to be doing more excerpts, of course, for Leonardo da Vinci to start with, and go through the chronology of all the other Shaman organization leader presidents, or the leaders of the organization, up to sliver balls of this day. I hope that, again, you guys have a great week. If you have any questions, please feel free to reply to these vlogs. I love to hear your comments, see what you have to say. They can only help me improve what I do. In the meantime, I hope you can set your goals, work towards your goals, make your life a much happier, more meaningful life for you and those around you. And until then, have a great week.